Between the Myrtles, Chapter 4. Lena. The open window breathed new beginnings into the pastel bedroom to brush over Lena's face. She pulled the blankets in close, shoving their persistence back for another minute of comfortable warmth.
Meow.
Baxter leapt into view and moseyed to her pillow to flop down. He reached out a single paw, slowly at first, and then all at once sticking it into her open mouth. Yuck, Bax! Lena's eyes came to life. Oh, yuck! She continued spitting. Her alarm joined into the hubbub. It screeched until she slapped the snooze and rolled off the edge of the bed with practiced expertise. The morning had started off peaceful enough, but like most things in life, it quickly reminded her that life waits for no one. Okay, all right, I know, she laughed. She rolled her eyes at the expectation painted over the Persian's pushed-in mug. Your treat isn't going anywhere without you, dum-dum.
Meow.
He pounced to the floor with a thud and waddled out of the bedroom door to a litany of excited chatter. As you wish, little prince. At least let me get my slippers on. Lena closed the window, slipped her bony icicles into their fuzzy sanctuaries, and proceeded to follow obediently after the cat. The sun poured in through the window curtains. She drew them open as she passed by. The flood of bright light welcomed her to come explore the surrounding city. What a beautiful day, she exclaimed, to which Baxter unleashed a fresh torrent of purr-mingled chatter. She clicked on the television and popped open a fresh can of the wet food he loved so much, and proceeded to make a pot of coffee to the tune of the morning news. We're looking at sunshine and 70s for the remainder of the week. The news anchor was spouting the usual, playing perfectly in with the morning ritual. A whoosh of déjà vu covered her, as a familiar voice continued with its chipper tone. On another note, another tragedy over the skyline of the Emerald City. Families left grieving in what appears to be a series of anomalies authorities are still trying to find answers to. Lena sprinkled the coffee grounds into the top hopper while looking over her shoulder, distracted at the screen, long enough for the grounds to fill past the border of the filter and spill into the hopper. "Ah, shit," she muttered, reaching for a measuring cup to retract the upper level to the appropriate amount. Lena took the paper filter from its place, still listening carefully for more details. She placed it on the counter, sure not to spill and make more of a mess, while she dumped the excess that had spilt over the filter and into the top hopper, banging it against the trash to make sure the last of it was gone. There was nothing worse than a good cup of coffee, bowl of grounds. Hopper still in hand, she reached the coffee pot under the faucet and turned it on to collect water while she replaced the filter. We have reached out to the police chief of Willow County, where the most recent of the fatalities occurred, but we haven't received any comment over the investigation taking place. This will mark the 23rd victim in less than 2 months. Authorities are calling for residents to remain calm while they continue to seek answers. So far, the authorities have found no link between the victims. Back to you, James. The sound of water spilling to the counter unlocked Lena's eyes from the television, in time to see the coffee pot overfilling onto the counter. Oh, crap! Ugh! She exclaimed, her outburst causing Baxter to look up from his treat for the first time since she put it down. He watched her for a moment before shoving his face back into the bowl in front of him. That's 2 strikes, Missy, she laughed. See that, Bax? That's why we don't multitask. She snatched her cell phone from the water's flight path and reached for the drying rag. After finishing coffee preparations, Lena moved to the stool at the edge of the counter and proceeded to listen to the morning deep dish, while the liquid gold percolated. Thank you, Jennifer. Well, it has been a strange start to spring. We have our esteemed crew on the case as well, and as we find details, we will be sure to inform you all over the information we uncover. But strange indeed. Our field reporter, Jim Davies, has spoken with eyewitnesses who claim that something like a small meteor falling from the sky was the culprit in each of these situations. And as crazy as it sounds, that theory has been the general consensus, so these do not appear to be calculated. We haven't been able to access the autopsy reports since the investigation is still ongoing. Strange indeed. Lena pulled open her throw drawer and drew out a notepad and pen. She opened it to the first page, only half full of bullet points. She added another tick to the running total of deaths before filling in another bubble and starting to jot. Find out the names of victims. Find locations for each crime scene. Asteroids? ? She scoffed. What do you think, Bax? Crazy world we live in, what's next? Aliens? She laughed, tapping at the paper with her pen as she looked down at the feline licking its chops and lacing itself around the base of her stool. She looked back to the screen full of noisy advertisements before following her nose back to the spitting and hiccuping coffee pot full of deliciousness. She pushed back, flopped the pen onto the paper, and reached for the cupboard, housing her favorite coffee cup. Her phone buzzed over the countertop as she followed her thoughts to the fridge for creamer.
Meow.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Even if there isn't a logical explanation, there has to be something, right? Something tying them together?
Meow.
I know I have to focus on the other junk, silly, but this seems important, don't you think?
Meow.
Later, you're right. I'll finish the grind and then go for a walkabout. How about that? Do you approve, Mr. Bossman? He rubbed up against her leg as she closed the fridge door and made her way back to the countertop. Okay, glad you approve. She laughed as he leapt to the top of her stool, curiously sniffing at the air. Steaming mug in hand, she reached for the phone. Miss Becker. The name appeared at the top of her message box, devil horns in tow. The emoji somehow always made the following texts or calls more palatable and less offensive. I read through last week's articles, sent them to your inbox for corrections along with your list of potentials for this week. Stop in my office when you come to collect your check. Need to talk. Oh no, Lena murmured. Baxter butted his head into her side for pets. Her hand strayed behind his ears for a scratch. That's never good, Bax.
Meow.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe she wants to promote me from top tens and vanity pieces, huh? The sinking feeling in her gut suggested otherwise. But the hopeful optimist inside told her not to worry over what she couldn't control. Best bet, we open that email, knock out the corrections, and then head to the office. What do you say?
Meow.
Thanks, Bax. I know I'm awesome, and she secretly loves me like a daughter. The image of her boss's squinty expression floated in, suggesting the opposite. To be continued.